Not much of that's going inside your mouth, is there? Morning, y'all. Right, today is not a secret day. I need this. And we're going to take a look at golf swing today, which I'm looking forward to doing.
Morning, y'all.
Morning, y'all. So yesterday's question, US Open, did you like it or not? Very mixed bag. There's a lot of people saying they found it a bit boring. Just such a shame, I think, for that venue, because I'm sure it's a fantastic venue. Just the weather really didn't allow it to show its teeth almost, isn't it? It's another Scorchio one today, people. Get your sun cream on if you're outside playing. So today's question, if you could win any major, which one would you choose? Down there, hit that comment section up, hit the thumbs up button while you're down there, and remember to subscribe to the channel and make sure that little bell icon is illuminated so you get notifications every time I post a video. Which major would you want to win? Outside office this morning, lovely. So today's swing I've chosen, not because we haven't looked at this before, I think we've looked at this many times, but more to discuss A, how this guy can fix, which we've talked about lots of times, or kind of have an idea of how to change things, but B, why we see the same reoccurring problems time in, time again. It's such a common issue here. So very high handle delivery, all built around what we call a very strong right hand grip, putting twists in the face, de-lofting club, then using the shaft angle to try and get some direction on the ball. So we're going to talk about the classic fixes with this, which I've done 100 times over before, but we're also going to talk about why this is such a reoccurring problem with golfers. I mean, I literally, if I teach all day, I'll see 60 to 70%, maybe higher, of golfers coming through this way, and I can almost call them before they hit a shot just by chatting to them. So let's talk about some of the characteristics that might apply to players this way and why it's hard for them to change and why we see these just reoccurring problems. So let's start with the swing ideas built around strong grip and really standing that handle up. Then we'll talk about why we see the same mistakes over and over. So we see the right hand grip underneath the club. So right hand grip would be called strong. Possibly a little bit more on top wouldn't go amiss. But what this grip does is it puts this twist in as you go back. It de-lofts the club, definitely encourages you to feel like it might go left of a path. Then on the downswing, to handle that, you start leaning handles forward and hiring handles as well. If you were to deliver in a similar way to I deliver, you would have no loft and a good chance the ball would curve low left with my straightish path. Face very close to the path and all the loft disappeared. So players like this, I like to challenge them in two ways. I like to challenge them with a grip in a different place. So right hand more on top, first finger, thumb pointing more up towards right shoulder rather than underneath so much. And then I like to play the lie game with them. So I hit a shot with their clubs and the club delivers a dynamic lie. So whatever that is, 0, 2 degree toed up, 2 degree toe down. Obviously each student comes to me with different makes-ups of their lies and their clubs from custom fitting. So let's say I deliver 0 for argument's sake. I then try and hit one where I stand the same way and then I deliver a lower handle. So I deliver the toe up, and then exactly the same thing, stand normal way, and then I try and deliver their standing up handle, and I show them the numbers with the toe down, and I often can move it between 8 degrees deviation. So if I'm a 0, 4 toed up to 4 toed down kind of idea, it's 8 degrees of control of dynamic lie. I ask them to do the same thing. If they're high handle golfers like this guy is, they can never get the toe up very quickly, if at all, until they need that kind of instruction. So what that means to me is I've got a bigger skill set than them. I'm saying to them that I can control dynamic lie differently, put me on different slopes, I can use the slope, fight the slope, I can play golf. I've got more skills that I can use in a real environment. If you can only stand the shaft up and deliver high handles, there's going to be some lies that are really going to punish you out of there. So once the right hand's on top, I'm going to do the normal drills that you see me do lots of times. Top of the backswing, feel like you're dropping the club down to be parallel with the ground. Spin it out in front of you. That one's often the most effective for golfers. If they struggle, I'll then go top of your backswing, just split the grip so your hand's on the middle of the shaft, right hand here, pull it down, spin it round, trying to reconnect right hand to the club up near the top. That's quite a good thought for people. Just getting the feeling of laying that shaft down and spinning it out dramatically changes their control levels, their skill set with delivering a better lie. Now this doesn't mean that we always go away with a zero lie. Custom fitting can play its part around 4 degrees deviation, 2 degrees flatter or more upright in a build of a set. Also, some golfers just play better if they deliver a certain lie, but this guy's going to be so far off the scales with his lie delivery that a custom fit won't save him. And like I said earlier, lies are going to really affect how he plays. Strike patterns, where the ball goes, those kind of things. So next time you're on the range, definitely practicing trying to get toe up and toe down is as good a way as trying to deliver that perfect lie. It's a skill set good players will use, even though most of them wouldn't be able to articulate to you that they are doing that or understand they're doing that.
Let's answer your questions.
Hey Mark, quick question for you. So, I was looking at new irons and I've had my irons for about 6 years now. How long do you recommend going before switching irons? I like my irons, but I think it's time for a change. Cheers, bro.
So for me, changing a piece of equipment, as I've said many times before, is not just about an improved data set, distance or stop or spin. I think this club's a really good example of that. I'm just about to have a go with a 2-ball after a video I filmed with Matt where we swapped clubs, and I felt quite good putting with this. My putting at the moment has been quite average, and I've measured putters on my Sam Putt Lab, and the data really driven numbers is next to not, it's kind of not different really, hard to see any difference. But I just felt like I could see lines, start direction a little bit better when I use this, and I'm sure I'll go back to my trusty. Sometimes a change just inspires a better feel, a different outlook, a different setup, something that just sparks a better feeling. And the biggest thing that frustrates me, and I think the message has got clouded as more people have come along, and that's always going to happen as there's more voices out there, is that my message from the start is that you need to go and test and find what improves you. I see such poor interpretation of data which clouds people's ideas of defining what is better and worse purely by not understanding spin numbers, why a club goes further, and then they deliver some crazy idea about what is better or worse. Changing your irons for me is not about how long you've had them, wearing out or not. When I was playing, I didn't change my irons for years and years and years because I was happy with my irons. And then when clubs are thrown at me now like they are, it's easier for me to change. So sometimes I just do it because I'm playing for fun, I want a different feel, I want to experiment and play with a different feel. So I think I'll have a go with those this time, but I would never be doing that if I was paying. I'd be saving my money. I'd be putting it towards like a Rolex or something. So you change when you're ready, bruh. Right, I'm going to get barbecue stuff. It's far too nice to not have a barbecue today. Right, let's talk about why this is such a reoccurring problem. So the first issue, which is a human problem, and the key message when it comes to thinking about taking lessons, is think about this player's ability. See if I can put that one a little better. I would guess this player has never understood or realised that you can practice dynamic lie. While you're down there hitting the thumbs up button and hitting the subscribe button as well, because you're loving the daily vlogs obviously, let me know in the comments how many of you have practiced dynamic lie delivery, how the club delivers on the ground in relationship to it. I would argue this player's practiced putting, I would argue this player's practiced driving, chipping, bunker play, scoring on the course to the range. Rude. But I would argue they've not practiced dynamic lie. They would have probably realised they have to experiment with what grip they use to change that dynamic lie delivery. I practiced dynamic lie as a kid because I practiced from loads of different situations, and if there was a situation I wasn't any good in, ball below my feet, ball above my feet, those kind of ideas, well, dynamic lie will be the culprit. I would either go and have a lesson or try and work out why I'm no good in those situations and try and improve it. And there's the key message there for me. If you want to get better, and I see it from lesson after lesson, is people practicing and thinking so much along the wrong lines. Now I think as well so much golf content out there is responsible for this, because you can just see what people are searching. Look at the video titles and look how many are trying to trick you and getting you to watch a piece of content that you want to watch. How to hit the ball 300 yards. The perfect backswing. We're talking about magazine style delivery, which is purely about clickbaiting the numbers. It's not about giving you the right information. So when I talk about dynamic lie delivery, or I talk about trail shoulder rotation, downswing, backswings, I get a big group of people who are bored. I've heard this one so many times. Oh, everyone can't have the same fault. Well, lots of people do have the same fault. So I think golfers not wanting to go backward in standard, hitting the ball okay, and not wanting to go back and find the harder fix. They want a quicker fix, an easier fix. Missed both of those. And it's that desire for that quick fix, I think, that makes people not want to really improve and look deeper at what needs improving. I always say to my students, I love trying to get them to understand what worse is and what the road maybe better is from there. And lots obviously can just get better straight away, but you can see as students come through how reluctant they are to be challenged until they see the results, until they try and lay that shaft down, until they try and change the grip, but not just the grip on its own, because that won't help. He's going to hit the ball miles right. Changing the grip with the drop and the flip at the bottom, doing it all in a better coached sequence. Also, let's not forget that this style of play can deliver quite a lot of power. It's a male game. Distance is such a big part of this game for people. How do we hit the ball 300 yards? So I think this style lends itself to strong, successful hits. It's just the crashes when they occur, the bad shots, that I see day in, day out. Come from people not wanting to let go of those highs and not remembering those lows. So really, with this kind of wittering on, I'm saying you need to be prepared to change. All the best learners I've seen are really happy and prepared to take on and excited new ideas, new challenges, new concepts, new feelings. They're not fragile lessons. I have lessons and I have to tell them when you're too fragile, like you turn their left foot out. You know what I mean? They stand like this and you ask them just to turn that foot out off and a bit wider, obviously. And then they just hit 4 shanks in a row. It's like, right, okay, this guy is fragile. We need to like go delicately until we kind of start really going at the juggler a bit later. Be prepared to learn, people. Really get out there and try and open your minds. It really will help you. She's being picked up. He's being picked up. We're all eating ice creams because it's really hot. We've been into town looking for fans, but they've all sold out of them.
Probably because it was really hot, so you buy some.
Not much of that's going inside your mouth, is there? He's bareback. I'm blooming bareback too. Oh, yes please. Yes please. Yes please. Yes please. Right, I've put a shirt on for the end just to knock the scary ball off. Thanks for watching. He hasn't. See you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting vlog. It's going to be an open day of discussion because I've got quite a busy day going about my business. I think you'll enjoy it. I wonder if I can get my blooming Rolex.